Hey crafters, today we are going to be making crochet beaded earrings. So I had a request on a couple of videos back from Pink Green, and she wanted to know if I could put together an easy tutorial to crochet a pair of hoop earrings and add beads. And so I've actually wanted to try this for a while, but I finally got around to doing it because I was inspired by the request. So, and as always, if you have requests that videos you'd like to see, comment below and hopefully I will be able to do them. I love the great ideas you guys have. So, I'm doing this tutorial kind of two-part. I have another video that I'm going to upload at the same time as I upload this one, where instead of using the actual materials to make the earring, I do a tutorial with like a hula hoop and rope and stuff. So it's kind of a bigger scale tutorial because if you look at this guy, it's kind of small, so there's a lot of detail involved. So I'm doing two tutorials, one where you can see it with the actual supplies you need, and another one where I just do it with the hula hoop and pool noodles and stuff, so you can hopefully see the details better. So before we begin, you're going to need to gather your supplies. I'm using this crochet thread. This is Red Heart's Classic Crochet Head, and it says 10 size. That's telling you how thick it is. So this is a little thicker for crochet thread, but that's kind of a good thing because we don't want to do this too detailed because this is supposed to be an easy tutorial. So I hope that this is easy and that you're able to follow along. So this is what I used, and my color here is Peacock. I thought this was a pretty color. I also picked up some seed beads. These are Cousin brand. And on the front, you might see something that says like a number and then /0. So this is telling you how big the beads are. The beads that I'm using are 6/0. And the reason I recommend this size is so that way you can thread it onto this crochet thread, and so that way it's big enough so it's not hard. So those are the first two things you'll need. You will also need a crochet hook. If you look on the packaging, it tells us we need a size 7 crochet hook. So, crochet hooks, they're labeled by alphabet letters, but once you get smaller than an A, you start using numbers. And so the smaller the number, it's actually closer to A, so that means it's bigger. So this is a 7, so this is a little bigger than this one here that's a 10. So you're going to need a size 7 crochet hook. You're also, since we're making earrings, you're going to need something to crochet on. This is a hoop earring that I found. The brand is Blue Moon Beads. And the packaging didn't say, but when I measured this hoop, it looked like it was about a 30mm diameter, so that's what I'm pretty sure this is. So I would recommend this, so that way the sizing and everything works out okay. And then obviously you'll need 2 of these, assuming you have 2 ears. And then you will need 2 earring hooks. These can, you order cheaply offline. Or if you don't have pierced ears but you still want to make these, you can get a pair of crafting clip-on earrings. They'll look something kind of like this, and you'll have a little spot where you can hook it on. So I've got these. And then because you're going to be attaching these 2 parts, you might want a pair of needle nose pliers because then you can kind of bend the wire open to be able to insert it on here. You're going to want a pair of scissors. And because we're going to thread the beads onto the crochet thread, you may also want to use a needle and a needle threader so you can get the beads onto the thread. So to start, we're going to go ahead and thread 8 seed beads onto our crochet thread. I'm going to thread the seed beads onto the crochet thread off screen just to save a little bit of time on this tutorial so I can focus on the actual tutorial itself. So let's get started. So here we are. I've threaded a bunch of beads onto my crochet thread. We only need 8, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're not going to worry about those. So we just want these on the thread, and we're not going to use them for a while at first. So we can just slide all the beads further up the thread. And you can kind of see that this thread is a little curly. That's because I was messing around with it and experimenting with it to make sure my pattern works well. So that's why it looks a little bit like that. So to start, the pattern says, which I have the pattern up on my blog by the way, and I'll link to that below also. But to start, the pattern says we need to crochet around the earring hoop 24 single crochet stitches. So let's show how to do that. Before you start crocheting, you want to thread this through here. So you can see that I've come up through the middle, and then complete a slip knot. Little trouble here. Slip knot, and we're using our size 7 crochet hook, and insert the hook and make it that size. So you can see that we kind of have the yarn going through here, and we're going to start to single crochet around. Now because we're working in a circle, we can kind of have this turned whatever way we want. We're going to join our circle, our 24, together. We're going to do a slip stitch up at the top once we come all the way around. But while we're actually crocheting, it doesn't really matter what way it's facing. So to do a single crochet, normally what you do is you yarn over, insert the hook, yarn over, and pull through 2. So the yarn over part, that's not so hard. So we come from the back and yarn over, but we don't really insert the hook. So we're kind of, if we're thinking about it, it'd be like we're inserting in here, and this would be our spot, and we'd yarn over. But that's really confusing to do if we do it that way. So let me show you an easier way to do it. So you yarn over, then come to the front and catch the yarn. Okay, so you can kind of see that there. I'll stretch it out bigger so you can see it. So we've got our slip knot we started with, our first yarn over, and our second yarn over. So now we're going to take this second yarn over, catch it, and pull it through to complete our single crochet stitch. And as you can see, it's pretty small, so this can be tricky to do at first because of the detail, but it just takes practice and goes slowly. So to do our yarn over, we're going to come from the back over to the front, then bring our hook in here and catch this tail piece right here for our second yarn over, and then we're going to pull this second yarn over through both loops. Let me do that again, and I'll try to keep my fingers out of the way better. So yarn over, come to the front, catch it. You can see we've got on the hook now, and then pull that yarn over through both loops. And there we have, we've already got 3 single crochet on here. If you look from the top and you're trying to count, it can be a little bit tricky to count. What you want to look for is, you can see these little V shapes, so 1, 2, 3. And that's the top of a single crochet. So that's how we count. Now, if you look at this guy right here, you can see that we're working to the middle. But right now we're kind of working on the outside. That's okay. Once we get done with this row, we'll bring it to the center, so like that. But for now, while we work, just to keep it easy, we're going to keep working around just this outer edge. So let me do one more to do our 4th one. So yarn over from the back, come to the front, yarn over, pull it up this way, and then pull that yarn over through the other loops. And there we go. So right now we have 4 single crochet. Let me finish up the extra 20, and then I'll show you what to do next. So here we are. I have done 24 single crochet around, and you may notice yours might be a little bit bunched up and might be stretched out more, but either way that's okay because we're going to be able to stretch this to come all the way around. So we're going to let this kind of turn inwards somewhat, and you can see how when I let it do that, so that way the V's are on the inside, how it kind of fits around here better. So I'm going to come to this, we'll turn it back outside just a little bit to make this next part easier. What I need to do is I need a slip stitch in the very first single crochet. So that's going to be this spot right here. You can kind of see that first V. I'm stretching it a little bit bigger, so hopefully it's easy to see. So if you look right there, that's our very first crochet stitch. So to do a slip stitch, we're going to insert the hook in that spot, and then yarn over and pull through everything on the hook. So by now it's probably turning inwards some. You can kind of see where we're at, and you've kind of got these ribbing around the edge, and our crochet stitches, instead of being on the outside, turned inward. So now's the part where we're going to start incorporating the beads. The way the pattern works is we're going to do a total of 8 double crochet going around, and that means we're going to skip some of our single crochet spaces below. But also in the double crochet, this is where we're going to incorporate our beads. So our first double crochet, you know how when you work in rows, how you first come up the side, and sometimes you let that first chain 3 count as your first double crochet? That's what we're going to do. We're going to chain 3, but the catch is we need to incorporate a bead. So to do this, I'm going to take a bead, that I've got in keeping to the left, and I'm going to slide it all the way up the yarn so it's kind of right up here against the hook. And I'm going to yarn over to complete a chain like I normally would. But what the difference is, on all the other stitches we've done so far, we've kept the beads to the left and we've grabbed yarn to the right of the bead. So that would be a chain like that. But we don't want to do that. We want to incorporate the bead. So we are going to slide the bead all the way up against here, then yarn over, so we're grabbing yarn to the left of the bead, and then we will pull through as our first chain. So you can kind of see that it's going to sit on there like that. And now we're just going to do 2 more chain like normal. So chain, that's our second chain, and this is our third chain. So this is going to count as our first double crochet. So now we're going to do double crochet stitches in the spots around here, and we're going to incorporate the beads similar to how we did here. Whoop, I just lost one of my chain. Let me redo that. But because we did 24 single crochet, but we're only doing 8 double crochet in the center, we need to skip some spots. So I'm going to count, we're in right here, so I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, and this is where I'm going to work a double crochet. So to do the double crochet and include the bead, I'm going to first yarn over like normal. Let me count to the spot again. 1, 2, 3, and then insert the hook. So far just like normal. Now normally what you would do is you would yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. But we want to include our next bead in this spot. So we're going to slide a bead all the way up here against the hook, and we're going to grab yarn from the left of the bead when we yarn over. So you can see I've got the bead's not over here, but it's right up against here. I'm going to yarn over and pull through 1. And then I'm going to complete the stitch just like normal by yarn over, pull, whoop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And it might be a little awkward at first because you've got the bead in there and it's so small, but you can see we've got our pattern forming. And you can see how the bead's kind of, instead of sitting on the front like it is with the chain, it's kind of falling into that spot there. Let's look at it from the other side. You can kind of see another look at it. And you may be wondering, well, if the double crochet looked like that, but the chain one sits on top, what about that? We're going to fix that when we get to the end. We're going to twist it so that way it sits in the side. But now we're going to repeat this process going around. We need to do 6 more double crochet. So yarn over. We're going to count 1, 2, 3, and insert a hook right there. And then before we yarn over, we want to make sure we slide a bead up against the crochet hook, then yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, whoop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And you may notice that even I'm having some problems because it's so detailed, and that's totally fine. And now you're just going to repeat this process around until you have 8 double crochet, and we're going to count our chain 3 as a double crochet. So I'll show one more, yarn over, count 1, 2, 3, insert the hook, slide a bead all the way up against the hook, grab to the left of the bead, yarn over and pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And you can see we've kind of got this webbing forming like we have on this guy. So let me finish up working around and I'll show you how we finish it off. So here we are. I have finished my 8 double crochet, so you can tell that I've got 8 beads on here. And now all that's left to do is to slip stitch to this chain. You'll notice that there's some spaces right here that we're not going to work in, and that's how it's supposed to be. So as I said in the beginning, the chain, you can kind of see that it's sitting kind of on the front, but all the other ones are kind of to the side, filling in that gap. So what we want to do is we want to twist the chain before we insert our hook. So to do this, simply just kind of pull the bead to the back and then find a spot. Let's see if I can do this without my hands blocking everything. So pull it to the back and then find a spot on the back of the chain close to the top up here to insert your hook. So I'm going in right there. You can kind of see how if you want to test your spot, insert your hook, and see how when I insert my hook there, it keeps the chain twisted with that to the side. That's how I know this is a good spot. So if you didn't, it's too hard to, say that this is the exact spot you need to go in just because this is so small. But the idea is you want to twist this and then find a spot on the very back and insert your hook there, and that'll kind of pull the bead to the side. So once you've found a good spot where it kind of turns the chain like that, yarn over, pull through everything to complete your slip knot. And there you go. Now you've crocheted all the way around. So what's left to do is you want to fasten it off. So to do that, just simply yarn over, pull a big loop through, and then we'll cut this, pull this out of here, and we'll tighten this up. And there you go. We haven't dealt with the ends yet. You may also notice that some of the spots around here have bigger spaces than others. So to get a more even finished look, you want to make sure you do your single crochet even. I had a couple spots right here. You can kind of see how there's more of the wire frame showing. I did my double crochet or my single crochet a little looser, but here I was doing them tighter. So if you can keep consistent tension, it'll provide a more uniform look going around. And also you can kind of stretch it and adjust it so that way it looks even. And also it's a cute design because it doesn't have to look perfect for it to be super cute. So the last things that you want to do is you want to weave these ends in. You can use a smaller crochet hook. That's how I weaved in the ends on this first one, except it didn't work too well because I cut it too short, and you can see I've got an end poking out here, so it's kind of fuzzy. So, but if you do have a needle you can use, I would recommend using that. Okay, so here I am back again and I've got this threaded. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of stitch along up through here. Just kind of come up one of the posts. And then I will pull this through. And if you think it's long enough that you can cut it and you think it'll stay, then I would just cut it there, which is what I'm going to do. And then we'll do the same for our beginning tail piece. I'll go ahead, but this time I'm going to weave it along through the edge here. So give me a moment to do that. Okay, I've got this threaded, so I'm going to just come along the edge here. You might need to bunch it up because this is a curve, the hoop is a curve, but the needle is obviously straight. So just kind of weave it through there and pull it through. And then kind of get it adjusted before you cut it so that way you don't have to worry about a fuzzy little tail end sticking out. And then we just cut it right there. Now the last thing we want to do is we want to go ahead and attach the earring hook. So you can use an earring hook like this, or if you're using a clip-on earring, you can use one like this. There'll be a spot there. But for today, I'm going to use this guy. Now, sometimes they have these little like balls and springs here, and that just helps hold things on better. So you may need to slide them up the hook a little bit to get them out of your way. But you're just going to take the needle nose pliers, and you're going to kind of grab here and just kind of bend. Or you can insert it and kind of bend. You can also, let's see if you can see that. And just kind of pull. So you can see that it's opened up a little bit. And then you can decide which side you want to be the front of your earring and which side you want to be the back. This one, you might be able to see right here. It's got a spot where if you wanted to hang something down. I don't really want that on the front, but so I'm going to put that to the back. But I like this side. I think all the beads are showing pretty well. But you might look and go, oh, I like the way the beads are showing on the back better. So it doesn't really matter unless you have something like this. And if you don't want that to be on the front, just plan ahead before you start of which way you need that to be facing. So you're going to start like this. And it's okay if the little ball and springs fall off because we can put them back on. But just put it on here. And then you're going to kind of grab on the front and just kind of gently pinch it closed. Let me go a little tighter with that so I don't have to worry about it coming off. And I'll put these back on. And there you go. You have your very own easy crochet earring around a hoop with beads added. And so there you have it. Now you know how to make an easy pair of crochet hoop earrings. I hope that this tutorial is helpful, and I hope that it was kind of what you were looking for, Pinky Green. And as always, if anybody has more suggestions for videos, comment below. And I think I'm going to actually try to do a couple more earring tutorials if you guys like these, because I've got a bunch of supplies now. And what's also great about these earrings, they're just kind of fun and cute, but you can easily mix them up even if you use the same pattern, just using different crochet thread colors and different bead colors. You can make a pair to go with every outfit you have if you want. Or if you wanted to make just one pair, then that's okay too. I hope this tutorial was helpful, and you go out there and make yourself a pair of earrings. And until next time, happy crafting.